So things are going from bad to worse for the Biden campaign. Politico reporting a full-blown freakout amongst Democrats over the president's reelection effort, saying this: a pervasive sense of fear has settled in at the highest levels of the Democratic Party over President Joe Biden's reelection prospects, even amongst office holders and strategists who had previously expressed confidence about the coming battle with Donald Trump. Former Clinton advisor James Carville is also warning that Democrats should be afraid.
And we keep wondering why these young people aren't coming home to the Democrats, or why blacks are not coming home to the Democrats. Because Democratic messaging is full of that's why. And why are we forgiving student loans for people that go to Harvard, which, according to Scott Galloway, quite accurately, is nothing but a hedge fund that has classrooms? Well, they got a $52 billion surplus. Why are taxpayers going to bail these people out?
Okay, Greg, he has got a way with words. Do you think that they're listening to the canary in the coal mine?
Grandma Clampett has a point. He represents the second half of the equation, screaming at the first half. The part where the Dems go, don't vote for Trump. Well, the second part of the equation is, what have you got instead? So basically what he's screaming at the party is saying, you are not telling people what you are going to offer. You're just saying, don't vote for that guy. That's not working. You know what he is? He's like a therapist who's had enough of his patient. Right? The patient comes in for an hour and just complains. That's the Democratic Party. They're just complaining, but they keep doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. So he's basically going like, what? People are going to go like, what? They don't want 4 more years of Biden. So you're saying don't vote for Trump. But why aren't you telling us what you're going to do? And then meanwhile, the Dems are feeling all this bleakness and fear in their own lives, which is directly caused by the bleakness and fear they've been predicting if Trump wins. They've essentially brainwashed themselves. They got high on their own stash. And, they're just going to get more of the same. That's why they're not going to vote Democrat. He's saying you've got to sell them. Shouting Trump, oh, my God, Trump, is not working. It's not working. People aren't buying that anymore. Sorry.
Richard, sometimes in politics, I think this is true. Let me give you a little axiom. What do you call that? Maxim of my own. Things in politics are never as worse as they seem or as good as you think they might be. So let's just, for fairness, say maybe they're somewhere in the middle. But no doubt that when you have Democrats who will finally on the record say what they've been saying behind closed doors, now it's out in the media. There is the bedwetting that's going on. Do you think President Biden has the political skills at this point in his career to turn things around now that we are past Memorial Day?
Listen, yeah, I think he does. I think part of turning things around in any equation is who are the voters that we're talking to? Who are these key voting demographics that the president needs to win? And I would give this advice to the Trump campaign as well. I think one of the key demographics that will win this election for whoever side is able to capture them will be black men, right? How do black men show up in this election? That's the reason why over the weekend, Kamala Harris sat down with Mav Carter on YouTube. That's the reason why you saw Donald Trump in the Bronx. And I think that where I disagree with James Carville is this ideal of black men or black folks coming home to the Democratic Party. I think what you've seen over the past couple of decades is African Americans vote for the Democratic Party because that party best serves their interests in the policies they care about, black men specifically. I think neither party, I think it's not about friends, it's about mutual interest here. And I think for many black voters, the reason why they're looking at both parties the way they are is because they don't want to hear lies. They don't want to hear platitudes. They don't want to hear promises anymore. And both parties are guilty of doing that, right? They actually want real tangible things this new election. They want access to capital. They want good schools for their kids and their families. They want safe homes and communities. And according to a Pew poll, they want improved public education. They want strengthening the economy. They want Social Security to be sound. And they want a decrease in the cost of health care. And so whichever campaign is talking about those things and how they're going to deliver those things for the black community and for black men specifically is the party that will get them and get their vote in its totality. And they're not a monolith. Obviously, people who disagree with me on that. But that's going to be part of the element. But to say that they're they're just going to be home with one party, I think is wrong.
Jesse Waters, how do you see it?
Biden's in trouble. He has a problem with his base. Trump doesn't have a base problem. He's got a real strong one. And they've already pumped tens of millions of dollars into these battlegrounds, and they haven't moved the needle at all. his approval rating has been stuck since the State of the Union. And his poll numbers in the battlegrounds have been stuck for the last 3 months. What are they sitting around waiting for a verdict in this trial? Do you think if Trump is found guilty, Richard, that all of a sudden disaffected black men, Hispanic men, and young Americans are going to be like, oh, you know, wait a second, I'm going to give Joe Biden a second look?
That's not what I said at all.
That's exactly right. But that's all their strategy is, because he has not shown any ability to use the bully pulpit to move anything in his own direction. And if you think about going into the summer, it's dangerous. He got nervous, so he had to leapfrog into a debate in June. That could go haywire. And then you have Trump in the summer in good weather. He's going to be killing it. He's going to be at NASCAR. He's going to be at baseball games. He's going to be golfing. He's going to be doing things. He's going to be at the UFC fight in July, Tyson. And Joe Biden, again, has put his convention in August. That's a sleepy month. No one's going to pay attention there. And his son's on trial for gun charges in June. And then his son's on charges for tax violations in September. Things are not going his way. And I think their strategy, whatever it is, it's economy stupid.
Judge, our former colleague and the late Bob Beckel worked on the Mondale campaign. And one of the things he used to tell us about, as he regaled us with stories of his campaign life, one of the things he said is that in '84, as they headed into summer, right after Memorial Day, they started to see the writing on the wall. And they knew that things were not going well, that people wanted Ronald Reagan to have another 4 years. I read an article like this today, and it made me think of that. And I wonder, do you think that the Biden campaign kind of knows and also sees this writing on the wall? Or do they believe their own supply? What? Are they smoking their own supply?
On their own stash, right. Yeah. Was it this is what I think. I think, first of all, the Democrats who are coming out and telling us how great it is are an example of what the larger Democrat Party is, and that is they're gaslighting us. So behind the scenes, you've got all these Democrats, or Carville in front of all of us, saying this guy's a loser. You've got Van Jones saying he's a loser, and Axelrod basically saying the same thing. But most of the Democrats, the senators and the Congress people, they're, oh, no, things are wonderful. But behind the scenes, they're like having a panic attack. But at the same time, you know, the Democrat Party isn't freaked out enough to give them another option. The Democrat Party isn't afraid of getting Joe Biden off the ticket. I don't know why. It could be Kamala. It could be that they're afraid to get rid of Kamala because they know what's going to happen if they do get rid of her, and maybe they've got something lined up for the convention. I don't know. But the truth is, even if Biden is reelected, they're going to have the same problem with crime. They're going to have the same problem trying to buy a house, the same problem with the border and all of the millions of people, it'll be tens of millions coming through, while they continue to pay high prices and while we're in the middle of a couple of wars. So they don't have a message, you know, and it's not they've got nothing. You know what? I got to tell you, Biden is good at one thing. He has implemented the progressive agenda, and that's why we're in this mess. And maybe that's why they're willing to, you know, stick it out with him.
One of the main Democratic strategists out there said a similar thing. He said, I bet Democrats, if you ask them, what is Biden and Harris's message in one sentence of the campaign, is like, I don't think he could do it because he couldn't do it. And he actually pays attention every day.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.